Yes, in the previous class, the construction of instrumentation in the flame photometric technique, that part is completed. As you know, how the metallic salt solution, when it is sprayed and comes in contact with the flame, what happens? First, the evaporation of the solvent takes place, the residue is left behind, the metallic residue, and that metallic residue absorb the heat radiation, that is thermal energy. Then there is a compound is converted in the form of atoms. These atoms absorb the energy and there is a excitation takes place. There are some metal ions absorb the radiations and they reach towards the higher energy state. And again, when they return back to their original state, they re-emit the radiation. Depending upon the radiation and color intensity, the metal ion which is present in the solution, that can be detected, and that part is completed already in the previous class. Now we go for what are the important applications of the flame photometric technique. The first one is qualitative analysis. In the qualitative analysis, this flame photometric technique is used for the detection of first group and the second group elements of the periodic table. You know, the elements like sodium, potassium, rubidium, these are belonging to the first group of the periodic table. Similarly, lithium, magnesium, calcium, strontium and barium, they are belonging to the second group of the periodic table. And here, these elements can be easily detected by their flame test. Already in the inorganic qualitative analysis, we come across the flame test for the so many elements, like say you can take example sodium. Sodium impart golden yellow color, the calcium ions imparts the red color, barium ions impart the apple green color, at the same time potassium pale yellow or lily color. These are the different colors are imparted by the metal ions. And here in the inorganic qualitative analysis, the elements of the or radicals of the first group and the second group elements are easily detected. Now we go for the quantitative analysis. For the quantitative analysis, we require the construction of the calibration curve from the series of standard solutions. Means we prepare a standard solution of different concentration, and from that the calibration curve is plotted. The second one is determination of the metal ion in a given sample using the calibration curve. Means there are two points are to be remembered here. First, you go for the construction of the calibration curve, and this construction of the calibration curve can be done by using the standard solution. Clear? Means standard solution means the solution whose concentration is known or prepared by the expert, and that is called as a calibration curve from standard solutions. And second one is determination of the metal ion in a given sample which is unknown to you. That is, the metal ion, its concentration is not known to us, and that can be determined by using the calibration curve. Now let us start the preparation of the standard solution for the construction of the calibration curve. Here, a known mass of the suitable compound for the detection of sodium, we can use sodium chloride or sodium nitrate can be used. For the determination of potassium ion, we can use the KCl, or you can use the potassium nitrate as a salt, that is a KNO3. Here, a known mass of the any compound, either NaCl or sodium nitrate, or for potassium chloride or from potassium nitrate, the known mass of the salt solution is prepared and it is dissolved in a distilled water and make a volume to the known volume by using the volumetric flask. You have prepared the already standard solutions in the volumetric analysis also. This is the volumetric flask, say 100 ml. Here the known mass of the sodium chloride for sodium or potassium chloride for potassium is weighed and it is dissolved in a suitable solvent like water and make the solution exactly, that is 100 ml, that is known volume. And here it is observed that it contains about 1 milligram per ml of the solution. This is referred as a stock solution. Here one thing we have to remember that in 1 ml 1 milligrams of the metal ion is present. Like that, depending upon the molecular mass of the salt, we go for the preparation of the standard solution, or it is also called as stock solution, that is 1 milligram per ml. In that quantity we prepare that is standard solution, it is called as stock solution. And a stock solution is diluted to a given solution of different concentrations. I have taken, suppose the stock solution is of 0.2 milligrams per ml, then you have to go for the preparation like 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, that is you have to make the solutions like this. You have to prepare the standard solutions respectively, that is 0.8 milligram, 0.4 milligram, 0.6 milligram, 0.2 milligram, like that in a per ml of the stock solution they are prepared. Then each of the standard solutions are ejected into the flame photometry. You can take first, we can take the 0.2 milligram per ml. This solution is taken and that is allowed to spray or ejected to the flame. What happens here? Whatever the compound is there, the solvent get evaporated. 0.2 milligram per ml of the residual compound is left. That residual compound contains the atoms of the elements. Those atoms of the elements absorb the radiation, that is thermal radiation, and the excitation takes place as usual procedure, and it re-emit the radiations, and those radiations are detected or collected in the detector, and we go for the preparation of or construction of the calibration curve. Like that, we prepare the 0.2 milligram per ml, 0.4 milligram per ml, 0.6 milligram per ml. Like that, the solutions are prepared and the same process is followed. Means the solution is allowed to eject in the front of flame. Then residue left, atoms are formed, excitation takes place. Like that, the process is continued. And here the intensity of the emitted radiations is measured at 590 nanometer for the for sodium, and for potassium it is 768 nanometer for the potassium radical. From this we go for the construction of the calibration curve by using the intensity of the emitted radiation against the concentration. Then what happens? Depending upon the concentration, we get the intensity, we get the graph is like this one, which is crosses at the center of the xy axis. Then the unknown solution is taken. That is, unknown solution means we don't know how much milligrams of the element is present in the given solution, that is called as the unknown solution. And this unknown solution is taken, the same process is followed. Means this solution is allowed to spray over the flame. Evaporation of the solvent takes place, residue is left, though that residue contains atoms of the elements. Those atoms absorb the radiations and re-emit the radiations with a specific intensity, and that intensity is also known, and from the known intensity the concentration of the unknown solution can be determined, and from this standard calibration curve the amount of the element present in the given solution can be calculated. This is one of the method of the determination of sodium as well as the potassium by using the calibration curves. Okay. Next, just like you have studied in a colorimetric techniques. Colorimetric techniques in the 5th semester you have studied. The same colorimetric technique are used to detect the element or a radical that is present in the unknown solution. Now we go for the what are the limitations of the that is flame photometric technique. The first one is only liquid samples are used in this technique. Here already I have told the standard solutions have to be prepared. When the standard solution means we know the solid substance is dissolved in a suitable solvent and we make the solution of the particular compound and that solution is used for the detection. Therefore, in this technique only liquid samples are used. In some cases the solutions are to be prepared by using that is different solvents like alcohol, ether, etc. Then second one is the flame photometric method does not provide about the molecular forms of the metals. Here it is not concerned to the molecular forms of the metal. Only thing is the intensity of the emitted radiations are to be detected. From that the element which is present with a specific wavelength and the amount of the element present that can be detected. It can be used for the direct detection as well as for the determination of noble gases. This method is directly used for the detection of some of the noble metals can be easily detected. Example, gold. That is, it also impart a particular color like that. Noble metals like gold, platinum, silver, etc. Even copper also. Then it cannot be used for direct determination of all the elements. Means this method is not useful for the detection of all the elements. It is only specific elements can be detected by this flame photometric technique. Okay, I will stop here only. Then next I will start the one more first paper chapter, that is soil analysis. Okay, thank you for your patience hearing.